Hello everyone. This video is not to debate about the accuracy of the predictions of sea level rise. It is simply to understand the implication of sea level rise, and we're going to take an example where sea levels rise by 65 centimeters. Frankly, it is quite confusing to think that a mere increase of 65 centimeters could have such terrifying consequences. 65 centimeters is about the height of your knees. But if you consider the topography of coasts and a little bit of trigonometry, then the problem becomes quite clear. First, let's take a look at the topography of a coastline. Obviously, this differs on a case-to-case basis, but this is what it generally looks like. It starts with a shore that leads to a gently sloping area called the continental shelf. At the shelf break, the slope increases and leads to the continental slope. At the base of the continental slope, we have the continental rise, which is where marine sediments get deposited. The continental rise leads to the abyssal plain or the deep ocean floor. Our area of interest is this continental shelf. So let's take a look at this closely. The continental shelf extends from the shore towards the ocean or towards the sea up to a distance of 50 to 100 kilometers. It has an average depth of 150 meters and has a very gentle slope, normally less than 1 degree. The global average is 0.1 to 0.2 degree. Now let us imagine that we have a boat that is floating over water 10 meters deep. We can easily imagine a right angled triangle over here where the height of the triangle is 10 meters and the opposing angle is 0.1 degree. Using the trigonometric function of tan, we can find out the length of the base of this triangle. Putting in the values, we get a length of 5.7 kilometers. That means that our boat is 5.7 kilometers away from the shoreline. Now consider that sea levels have risen by 65 centimeters. When this happens, there is a simultaneous ingression of seawater inland. We need to find out how much of an ingression has taken place. Now our boat is over water 10.65 meters deep. We can imagine a new right angled triangle over here, and we can find out the length of the base of this new triangle using the same trigonometric function of tan. Putting in the values, we get a length of 6.1 kilometers. That means that our boat is now 6.1 kilometers away from the new shoreline. That is an ingression of 400 meters. It is this seawater ingression that is worrying scientists around the world whenever we talk about sea level rise. To put this into perspective, if we look at the coastline of India, which is 7,517 kilometers long, an ingression of 400 meters along the entire coastline would submerge an area of just over 3,000 square kilometers. If this were to happen by the end of the century, then more than 250 million people living along the coastline of India are going to suffer. It's not just their lives and their livelihoods, it is all of the infrastructure over there that's going to be damaged or completely destroyed because of this seawater ingression. Around the world, more than 600 million people live in low-lying coastal areas. That is 1 in every 10 individuals. All of their lives, all of their livelihoods, all of the infrastructure there is at risk because of sea level rise and seawater ingression. If we look at the worst case scenario, where it is predicted that sea levels will rise by 2 meters, we can see that our entire shore is completely submerged. Seawater ingression in this case would be more than 1 kilometer. If this were to happen, then many island states and many coastal cities around the world are going to be completely submerged. Some of these cities have populations of more than 5 million people. Can you imagine the loss of life and property? Sea level rise is not going to be uniform around the world. Some places are going to be more affected than others. For example, in Asia, we're going to see a lot of economic development in the coming decades. Many economic centers of the continent are along the coasts of this continent, and many people live there. There's going to be tremendous amount of damage if development continues in a scenario where sea levels can rise to great amounts. We can't really predict the exact amount of sea level rise because there are a lot of variables at play, but I hope we now understand the implication of sea level rise, and I hope we understand the reason for all of this panic. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned to Eco Intelligent as we try to make the world ecologically intelligent.